Somebody call for the queen.
I never anybody, but I got something to do with that. I got the streets on my back, carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he trying to move it up. It was like 11 in the morning, skipping school, that's the truancy about it. I made me some rest in the morning, I had me a pop by the morning, I had me some breaks by the morning, I had a sis by the morning, I got on a meat, no pneumonia, the rats keep me up on the podium, I had a in my shoulder, you got a picture, you got the picture me, Pacific ice on my ocean, ready for war like I'm Russia, ladies should never look lucky, my diamonds they tussling, my neck and my belly, they calling for me and they, you want me like me and I look, yeah, her Rex on her, yeah, B-Rex better calm down, yeah, if you go around, come around, yeah, whole squad, yeah, squad goes on the, yeah, make some orange gel on my toes, yeah, Farrakhan glass for the chosen, yeah, you can go and get mad, jumping in the bed with 2 dark teeth, man, who's you, my shawty pulling up with a real bad, you too, dripping my swag.
This is Madden 19. I'm the coach. You're locked into the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be back with you again with scores around the league at halftime. But kickoff right around the corner. And standing by to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports as you take a look there at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, PA. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, you look at this Eagles team as they interplay here. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, they come into this one after a loss in the opener, and they're in for another tough test here.
And what a battle for an organization to look at your schedule and see 2 road games to start the season and not have a letdown immediately. You got to fight against that. They've got to come out ready to play.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now here comes the Eagles offense as they get ready to take over. And trotting out there, their tall quarterback standing at 6'5".
And what I'm looking for from him today, the things every quarterback is looking to do. Lead his team to a victory. Doesn't matter whether he's throwing it, running it, handing it off, however he has to do it, as well as exhibiting some leadership, that's what he's trying to accomplish.
Throwing is Anders. Throwing on first down. And that is incomplete here. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
2nd and 10. Anders now to throw again. Walker with a grab, left side. He's got a convoy, and he might be gone. Past the 20, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down.
Pass interference. Defense.
And yes, they want the point, so they will decline the penalty.
Is mulling over what the penalty
I don't even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now a 7-0 game. That drive started on their own 25. 2 plays, 75 yards later, into the end zone. This is taken at the 3. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator say right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series. Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Back to throw here. And incomplete here on 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you run into big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
And space opened up a bit. He's able to take this up past the 10.
And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down in jubilation, aren't you?
Yeah, now you've got options on 2nd down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
All right, here we go.
Anders, off play action. Wide open receiver complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. First catch for him on the afternoon, and it results in a 1st down.
There are so many things to watch for when you play defense. And reading your keys, you always hear about that, and having your eyes in the right place. Sometimes your eyes can fool you. How about that play action there? That sprang the big guy, didn't it?
Able to dump it over the top to him. And now nothing but green ahead of him. And he takes this down deep on the Cowboys side of the field. A big play there for Philly. Give him 52 yards on the ground. And you talk about great blocking up front. I don't think he was even touched, not a finger on him, until he was brought down to the ground.
I think we heard the whoosh as he went by, didn't we? Right through the gap. No one there, as you outlined. No one touched him at all. A free sprint into the secondary.
Yeah, that's what you call breaking free right there. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
Meanwhile, on 3rd down, they take a shot at the end zone, but it's incomplete. So on now the field goal team for Philadelphia. And his kick here is good. And the lead moves to 10-zip. So that drive began at their own 3. They wind up getting 3 out of it.
And to me, the mentality to begin the drive, that was probably the key to everything. Let's just make sure we take care of the football, give ourselves some room, and maybe punt it away. Instead, it started at the 3, and it ended with 3 points.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And out now come the Cowboys. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
No. Check. Patriot. Over.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Lucky 56.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. Pretty darn good, as you see right there on your screen.
I'll echo that. Darn good. 2 touchdowns, right? And the ability to be in sync with each other, right? To understand that he's going to be where the quarterback expects him to be when the ball's thrown.
Sitting alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, as it is Cowboy football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line's just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's third and very long. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Elliott. A big third down conversion with a gain of 28.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. 11 more on that one and another first down.
But they're getting ready to go to work now in prime real estate after that last run. Found his spot and picked up nice yardage, didn't he?
And now he's got him knocking on the door of the red zone. Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw here. His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. In for the score. And the Cowboys have cut it to within a score. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. So just a 3-point game now as they send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. Now a hit and a loose football. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
As that ball got away from him, And he saw the opposing team recover it.
You felt his pain?
Oh, I felt his pain, and you know what was going through his head. Tuck it away. Take care of the ball. All the things he hears all week in practice, he didn't carry it over into the game.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. That is caught at the 7. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, from an offense's perspective, that sure was pretty because the corner route is extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. A great play there. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Cowboys are in for 6. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game because of that particular play. They had no answer.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21-yard line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're not too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Philadelphia after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this second week of the regular season. They'll set up to throw. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. They go play action here on first down. And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. The Eagles hustling to the line, clock rolling. Here's Anders looking to throw on second down. And he's going to go down again.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
And they'll go on the ground. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. It's a pickup of 6, but it's not going to be enough. And the punt team's going to be summoned on 4th down. And a timeout here. Timeout taken, whistles blown. Timeout taken by the receiving team. As they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Eagles send out their punter now, as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. Now a play fake here on first down. And an incomplete pass. That'll stop the clock here with just under a minute to play in half number 1.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Now, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
He'll look to throw. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Well, the Eagles going to signal for a timeout, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And the Eagles will have great starting field position here as they take over. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. Been a decent start for him here in this first half, but bottom line, his team's losing. They got to fix something.
And it starts with him. He has to keep that little quarterback strut going right now to make sure his team sees him as confident. Continue to try and up his game, but just let him know, hey, if I'm around, if I'm the one calling signals and throwing the football, just follow me, we'll get there. Sometimes that will do more to elevate a team than anything else.
See if he has that confidence.
Now let's go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now Anders on first down, a man. It's Hubbard. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Throwing is Anders to throw on second down. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Anders now on first and 10. Throw left side complete. That's Walker. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Anders looking to throw on second down. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Cowboys have recovered. Likely time for one final snap as they start out first and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to look deep down the field. And that's caught inside the 30. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. The prayer is answered.
How did they get that done?
And they extend their lead, a little added cushion into the lockers. What a way to finish.
Tremendous way. That's momentum that they carry in with them. Can they convert it and bring it back out to start the third quarter?
Extra point hugged the upright a bit, but he gets it to go. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back out. Due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the third quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. Out come the Cowboys now as he'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock Dalvin away and bring up second down.
Second and 10 now from the 27. And now the first throw for the backup quarterback. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
Extra point splits the uprights, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll make it across the 20, as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. So here are the Eagles now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half,
in a double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26, and they will take over at the 26-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Throwing right, and that's complete. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. A good pick up there of 20 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. To say they've kept him under wraps running the football, that's an understatement. He's been completely neutralized.
Yeah, they've essentially taken him out of the game, haven't they? And you know all the teams say, we're not going to let him beat us. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. They've lived up to that.
He'll get it up the middle. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Partner, I know we're in a goal-to-go situation, but my goodness, think about running the ball here. Not even a thought, is it?
Defensively, they're in a prime spot.
And I think the defensive guys are probably expressing themselves to them as well. I wouldn't run it here, guys. You might want to try throwing it.
On third down, that's Brown. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 10-yard line. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up fourth down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
They had it first and goal, 3 attempts, couldn't get it in, so they settle for 3.
Yeah, the field tends to shrink a little bit the closer you get to the goal line, doesn't it? It doesn't sound right. It sounds a little counterintuitive. But you run out of space to run the deep routes, so they can just sit on the shorter stuff if you're going to throw it. If you want to run it, there's just not as much space. They end up having to take 3 there.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nice, and now look at him go. He's at the 30, 10, touchdown, Philadelphia. A great effort there. His first touchdown of the new season, and the Eagles get a score closer. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
No problem there on the extra point, and that cuts this lead down to 13. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team, their drive and will to come.
And now off to the races down the right side. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great play there with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
Now the offense will stay out there. They're going to line up and try for 2. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this one's incomplete. Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Philadelphia getting set to take the field. I guess they have to feel a little gratified to at least get on the board last time, but still work to do.
No doubt about it. I wonder now if they're going to try to increase the urgency a little bit, maybe pump up the pace, maybe go 2-minute. Who knows? Let's see what they decide to do.
Tailback takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here's Anders to throw on second down. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Hubbard. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I like how they work the tight end on a nice little under route there. And if you're going to give him that much space, he's not going to catch the football. He's going to run away from you a little bit, and that's exactly what he just did there, picking up extra yardage.
They'll set up a throw. Now a leaping catch. He's got it. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that. But it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost his bread and butter. It's a good running back dive play.
Now Anders looking to throw on second down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? I mean, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors.
And welcome back. We are in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter. A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Watch it now, Barney.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it is incomplete. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going right side here, and that's complete. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
What may seem a little unorthodox to some people, got the lead, 4th quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
No, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again, the 25, 2nd and 10.
Watch it now, Barney.
Now they'll run it on the toss. He's to the 10. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there. 25 yards to the house. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. He keeps carrying the ball into the end zone, and in this one, he's sort of carrying the team on his back.
He's the reason that they lead right now. No question about it. And you talk about on his back, he's not minding the extra weight at all, is he? Carrying that just as lightly as he does the football. Yeah, what a great performance so far.
Those 3 touchdowns, and he's got him in the lead. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And this offense last time turned it over, went for it on 4th, didn't get it. They're lucky, though, because no points against the team on the board, but we'll see how they respond.
Yeah, they've got to get a lot of credit to their defensive teammates, don't they? They had their backs on that last series, and because they did so,
on a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. Now pickup of 7 there, but they'll still have 12 yards to go on 3rd down.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the 4th quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here. This is a dominant performance, where they took control of this game, how they've managed to keep control of this game, and then we go ahead and think about how we're going to leave here and get to the air.
Pressure comes, and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
All right, now look at 50.
56. Lucky 56.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Fourth quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. That one complete to Elliott. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation, and there the defense won the battle. And they'll run it here. They find some open field here. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
That's a good chunk of yardage. It's going to be canceled out.
And we always talk about hidden yardage in a game. That's going to count as that, because now it doesn't go on the books, but now they have to make that up again, don't they?
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. He's going to loft one. Man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on.
Things are rocking easy here in the 4th quarter. They've got to feel pretty good about this one. Actually, they've got to feel excellent. Tough loss in the opener. No way they wanted to go 0-2.
I don't want to read too much into it, but psychologically, is there something much bigger about 0-2 than 0-1?
Oh, without a doubt, and here's the biggest one. Guys like you and me, all the media, are going to talk about, well, you know how hard it is to make the playoffs when you start 0-2, and that starts to work its way through a team.
And now they're working towards 1-1. The drive summary that time, 5 plays, and it's capped off with a Cowboys touchdown. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Now we get a peek at the captain of this offense heading back out there. And right now, probably just one thing in his mind. It's getting back to the hot start because he's really faded.
And ordinarily when that happens, the quarterback, as you know, is usually the leader of the squad. Now there's probably a silent camaraderie that comes around him saying, hey, guess what? We got you. Don't worry about it. Let's go, big fella. Because they know more times than not, he tends to pick things up, and they tend to play well.
Throwing is Anders. Throwing on 1st down.
If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just dropped to a point and reacted to the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They face a third down now as they try to find a late score.
All right, here we go. Green, 39.
Anders now off the play fake. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. They'll run it now out of the gun. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. He's at the 50, 30, 20, 10. And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late. But he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. And that run massively increased his production in this game, and now he's over 100 yards.
And break out your calculator, partner, because his yards per carry went up significantly, right? Big-time jaunt all the way to the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle. And that will cut this lead down to 25. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They come into enemy territory, and I don't care what the matchup is in the National Football League. You're up like this late in the game on the road. This feels pretty good.
Oh, it feels fantastic. Anytime you get a road victory in the NFL, that's a big-time accomplishment. And to do it this convincingly, that just tears up the script that every home team has, which is nobody comes into our house and pushes us around. They took care of business today.
Yeah, they pushed around, and now the final stages of this one.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Young here to throw. And he finds a man on a crossing route. A very solid gain of 27.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
But right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
The give is to Elliott. And an alley to run. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. 11 more yards that go around. A first down as well.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They'll drop the throw. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
Well, I've got to laugh here, and I really don't want to because the old school in me is not happy about this score this late, not necessary. But this is Madden, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is how it works.
Rub it in. Have a day.
I mean, what does it matter? These guys who are playing in this game, there are no feelings
exactly.
there.
They don't have to face the guy. Well, they might if they're in the same room going head-to-head. But
that's
the
about
virtual
it.
guys on the screen don't have to face each other after this one.
In that case, run it up.
They are, by the way, into the fourth quarter now in Oakland. And it was the Raiders who were able to come away with a victory there. A win would be their second on the young season. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now Philadelphia ready to get going on offense again. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest, nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Timeouts as the clock will stop with 18 seconds remaining. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
Anders operating from the gun. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch. It doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Paul. Now a final chance to stop it here as a timeout comes in with 10 seconds left in the game. The Eagles send out their punter now as he'll come on to kick this one away. This is taken around the 12. Oh, a nice spin. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them. And
as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for Dallas, they did what they needed to do. They split their first 2 road games of the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for the Eagles, they'll drop to 0-2. And they'll look to get back on track next week as they travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.